Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the K-Bar Dozier. Very cool, very budget-minded little design from K-Bar. I have never held one of K-Bar's folders before. Having been in the military for a while, I've definitely held more than my fair share of their fixed blades, but not one of their folders. This one was an easy one to pick up to try them out because it is very, very inexpensive. This particular one, $19.95. Very inexpensive indeed. They make it in several different versions. You can get a bunch of different colors. There's a different blade with a slightly different blade shape with a reversible thumb stud instead of this thumb hole deployment. A bunch of cool, crazy shades. They make like a pink and a green and a blue and a bunch of different ones. Some with coated blades, some without. Some a little less expensive. I think there's one version that's $17.95, another one that's up to like $23.50. But all of them very budget priced, very lightweight, cool, simple little designs. You just have your simple back lock. Two slabs of fancy plastic here. I don't know what they call theirs. It's like an FRN type material. Pocket clip, reversible, right hand, left hand, tip up only, and that's about it. Simple little design, but pretty cool. I do like this a lot more than I was expecting for 20 bucks. Let's do some stats before we get too much farther. We will do, again, these are 1-inch squares here, so have an overall length of 7¼ inches, blade length of 3 inches. You have a blade stock thickness of 0.11 inches, handle thickness just a touch under 0.4 inches, so pretty slim, and very lightweight, just 2.2 ounces, so pretty lightweight little knife. Do some size comparisons and then we'll move on to more about this. First of all, we will compare it to, well, let's compare it to the Ontario Rat Model 2. This version, this and AUS-8, which is the same blade steel you're getting here, is like 30 bucks, and this is 20, so, but still one I think people will compare back and forth a bit. Percentage-wise, it's a lot of difference, but money-wise, it really isn't. Let's compare it to a knife that is also very similar in a lot of ways, definitely not in price, though. This is your Spyderco Delica. Similar construction. Let's compare it to another knife close in price to this. Your Kershaw Atmos. I think that's all we're going to do for the size comparison. You can see it's not a big knife, but it's not a tiny little thing either. Kind of a, I guess 3-inch now we're drifting into calling 3-inch mid-size, where that used to be really small, but a lot of knives are getting smaller and smaller all the time. Now let's talk about the design of this. As I said, it's just a simple, no-nonsense design. I like the looks of it, especially the one with this deployment hole in it. I do really like that. Everything seems to be pretty well made for 20 bucks, I have to say. Very well made. As compared to another $20 knife I reviewed recently, the Ontario Wraith. I think it's a little nicer than that. And there's a lot of nice thought out things in it. They have the pocket clip touches the logo, just like Spyderco does, makes it easier to get out of your pocket. The only real complaints I have, and this is the tiniest little thing on a $20 knife, is a lot of the edges, like on the deployment hole in here, and on the back lock, could be a little more chamfered. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints, construction-wise. Got the nice lanyard hole in the back, and design-wise, and I think it's not a bad-looking knife for the price. It definitely, as far as just first glance looking at it, when you get closer, you can see it's not quite as nicely made as a Delica, but at first glance, it doesn't seem much worse than a Delica is, so good job, guys. Not bad at all. As far as this blade goes, it's not bad. It is a hollow grind. I was expecting it to be a bit thinner behind the edge. It's not thick behind the edge, but it's like 25 thousandths, so I was kind of expecting to be a bit thinner than that. As I said, AUS-8 steel. It's going to be super easy to sharpen. I think that's a great steal on a $20 knife. Of course, the sharpening choil is a mess. But, again, it's 20 bucks. But, yeah, it's not a bad slicer. It's got a pretty good tip on it for a knife, for this. I mean, that's a pretty robust tip for a 3-inch blade. That's only 0.11 inch stock. They carried it down pretty far. Should be not bad for piercing and stuff. Really good all-around blade shape. No complaints there. Ergonomically, it's also pretty good. It's very grippy here. We're going to call this FRN. It's very grippy up here for that. So that's nice. Gives you a good purchase. There's no real hot spots. The pocket clip kind of does come in like right here, where it is not where you'd want it, but it doesn't stick up a whole lot. I don't feel it a lot. I do feel it. I guess you could call it a hot spot, but it's not like not like a crazy bad one. There is no kind of guard here at all, so if you're stabbing into stuff, you got to keep an eye on that. But other than that, the ergonomics are pretty good. Carry-wise, it does carry very high, as we'll see here. You do have a whole lot sticking out. I'm not as excited about that, and again, it's just to accommodate a lanyard hole that who knows if anybody's even going to use. But it does give you a lot to grab to pull out of your pocket, I guess, and this is going to be kind of a working knife for a lot of people, so that may be important if you have gloves on or whatever. It makes it easier to get out of the pocket, but I do wish it carried just a bit lower. Not crazy so, but it's not a big deal on a knife like this, but it does kind of bother me. Now, deployment, this is not going to be a flicker. There's no way you're going to be flicking this thing out. I did not take it apart. I'm not sure if there's bushings in there or if it's just writing on the plastic, but definitely, it's definitely a roll open. It's never going to be a flicky open knife. Closing, again, it's not ever going to be one that closes, that drops like a Delica can or something like that. But it is a very secure back lock. There's a lot of material back here that's coming in contact. This is a very secure back lock. And again, I think they call this the folding hunter. So it's designed for hunting and working hard. And it is a very, very secure lock. And it's the spring tension on it is not like, some of the cold steels that bruise your finger practically. But it is two-hand close. For $20, I don't think you should be freaking out about not being able to close it with one hand. But it's smooth for sure. Nothing wrong with it there. Overall, I have to say, this is, again, for $20, really nice knife. This is one that I've been curious about for quite some time and never bothered to pick one up. And then I saw somebody had a video, the one with the thumb hole, which I didn't know existed, and that finally pushed me over the edge to get one. You may like the reversible thumb stud better, but other than that, they're exactly the same knife. Lightweight, seems to be pretty well made. K-Bar is a cool company. I'm glad to finally get something of theirs, and I really like it. And I have to say, I do recommend it. I do recommend this knife if you're looking for a cheap $20 beater. If you just want something to throw in a toolbox and forget it, or if you're on a super tight budget, this is probably the best $20 knife I've reviewed so far. So good job, K-Bar. Really like the Dozier. I'm probably not going to bother to pick up any of the other versions. I'm not that in love with it, but it is a really nice knife. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. Just a short little review. I've been Brian. Have a good one.